was just for you. Topic, what is this, number 5 or 6, one of the two? Is factoring and solving using the X method. It is important that everyone here remembers the X method of factoring. A times C on the top, B on the bottom, divide both sides by A. This is the X method. It helps us solve and factor quadratics. It's usually the first thing you would try whenever you saw a quadratic. Now, factor is the verb for our sentence, which means we need to write it in factored form. If it were to say solve, then we would need to write down the solution. Okay. Good. No, I do not. I do think so, yeah. Bye. Alright, factored form is GCF and then our two factors right after. With our P and our Q. Okay, so this is the form it should be in. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock this bad boy out. It's not that hard. We can do it. Okay. The first thing we should always check for, 3x squared minus 6x minus 189 is what should we try to do? Take out a GCF. I heard divide by 3. Both are perfect. The greatest common factor of 3, 6, and 189 is 3. We are going to take that number out. So we are going to divide everything by 3. Leaving me with 1x squared minus 2x minus 63. We divide all three terms by 3. It's usually good practice to put this 3 out front because remember your final answer should have that GCF. Don't want to forget about it. And now we use our X method. All we need is our A, B, and our C value. We've done this many times. What is A? Yep. B is -2, and C is beautiful. There's our A, our B, and our C. We must follow our X method of factoring, and we'll be good. Okay, so draw an X. What number will go on the tippity top? A times C. 1 times -63 is -63. Your B value goes on the bottom. -2. Do not forget you will always divide both sides by the A value, which in this case is 1, which in the grand scheme of things does not really matter. Dividing by 1 doesn't do anything, but many problems it won't be 1. Hardest part. We need two numbers that follow two rules. Rule number 1, our two numbers must multiply to give us -63. Rule number 2, those same two numbers must add up to -2. It is important to know all of the factors of 63. If you are good at this, you can tell by looking. If you are not great at your factors, we go off to the side, write down -63. We got 1 and 63. We got 3 and 21. What else we got? 7 and 9. Those are the 3 ways to make 63. Okay? It needs to be -63. Which side makes sense to make negative? The right side. Since the bottom number is negative, the bigger of our side should be negative. The only pair that multiplies to -63 and adds up to -2 is 7 and those are our winner-winner chicken dinners. These get written on the left and right side, this is our P and Q. 7, negative 9. Tokar. Hello? No, I did not. Not here. How do I take this off the wall?
You can turn off the ringer.
Okay. Let's simplify the left side, the right side. 7 divided by 1 is 7. Negative 9 divided by 1 is Now, a lot of times it might be a fraction and we would simplify that fraction, but here it's just dividing by 1. All we have to do is write our final answer. We put our GCF out front, which was 3. Our first factor is a positive 7, so x plus 7. Our second factor is a negative 9, so x minus 9. Our answer is C. Okay? That is factoring. You will have to factor one problem. Yeah. It does not matter what order these are in. Okay. Now we will solve a quadratic. Solve the following quadratic is your free response. Free response. It is done exactly the same, only you don't have to write factored form. You just flip your P and Q, and those are your solutions. It's actually a little bit quicker. Everything is the same. What is the first thing we should check for? What is the GCF of 4, 18, and 70? 2. We can divide all of these by 2. And we're left with 2n squared minus 9n minus 35 equals our 0. For solving, the GCF does not matter. What is my A, B, C? A is, B is, and C is. Beautiful. Time to do the x. On my tippity top, A times C. On the bottom, negative 9. What will we divide both sides by this time? 2. Okay, hardest part. 2 numbers that multiply to negative 70, but they add up to negative 9. Negative 14 and 5. Again, you just have to figure out what are the ways I can make 70. And then you have to try and add them together and see if they add up to the bottom. So these numbers have to multiply to the top and add to the bottom. And the pair that just happens to work is negative 14 and 5. Negative 14 and 5. We cannot do a decimal. We must just write our simplified fractions. So on the left side, that fraction can be simplified. What is negative 14 divided by 2? Negative 7. This is my factor. This is not my solution yet. 5 halves, can we simplify? No. This is my second factor. Those are what we would use to write factored form. To write our solution, we just flip the sign of both of them. So my two x values are going to be positive 7 and negative 5 halves. That's all you do for solutions. That makes sense? Your x method, it's called the x method of factoring because the x method finds your factors for factored form. This P and Q are called factors. That's what we put in our parentheses, and then we would have factored form. Your solutions use what's called the zero product property, and all you need to remember is when you write your solutions, you take your P and Q value and you flip the sign. -7 becomes +7 to be a solution. 5/2 became -5/2 to become a solution. These are the solutions to the quadratic. Okay? When you solve, you flip P and Q. If we were writing our factored form, we would just take P and Q and plug them in. Okay. That is solving and factoring.